Hi, I'm Joy. I would like to talk about giving too much, why we do it, what it means, and what our other options are. So, first of all, I think it's really normal to do this. I think a lot of people do this. And it's something that society actually teaches us to do. We're taught that it's a virtue to ignore ourselves and do what's expected of us, or what other people want us to do, or like what like the system wants us to do, what society wants us to do. And it's modeled all around us our entire lives. There are very, very few people, I think, who have a healthy balance between like taking very good care of themselves, taking very good care of other people in their lives, and like giving enough of themselves to other areas of their life. Having that kind of balance and self-awareness to be able to maintain a healthy balance is is something that is not very common. And it's not like a yes or no thing. Like some people do this, some people don't. There's different degrees um, of doing this. So, so what happens when we give too much? This is something that when you take a step back, like it's kind of obvious, but when you're in it, it's just like a habit. A lot of times we're not even aware that we're doing it. Like, okay, well, they expect me to come this weekend and to bring food with me that I'm gonna cook, and I'm really tired and like cannot do this and feel happy about it, but it's what they want. So here I go. And there's not really even any like consideration to the possibility that like I can say no to this. Or in relationships, some people more than other people, but what sometimes people do is focus a lot on their partner and like anticipating their partner's needs and desires, or helping their partner out, or um, just very like focused on the other instead of having a balance between focusing on yourself, the other person, and the relationship itself, because the relationship itself is a thing too. And what ends up happening in that situation is that when it's taken to an extreme, like who is the person even in a relationship with at that point if you're just like doing whatever you think they want or need. um they're ideally in the relationship because they want to be with you, not like what you think they want, right? And another thing that can happen, and this isn't just like romantic relationships, like any kind of relationship. Another thing that can happen is we start getting resentful because we're doing too much, and or we're not letting people know where our comfort zone is, or not letting people know what we need. We end up getting resentful over time, and the only thing that we can do in response is distance ourselves, essentially, because we're not giving the other person or people the opportunity to have like a healthier, happier exchange of whatever's happening, a relationship with us. And what can happen, like with children, as an example, is we want them to be happy in life. So what we do is focus so much on our kids and trying to be the best parent that we can be, that we neglect to live our own lives. And what we're doing essentially is, number one, not being the happiest parent that we could possibly be because we're not taking very good care of ourselves. And number two, modeling this behavior for our children, who then are going to grow up, and instead of being this like happy, healthy person that we just so wanted for them, they're going to do what we did in some area of their life, possibly with their kids, possibly in other areas of their lives. And they're also not going to be as close to us because we didn't give them the opportunity to, because we don't even like, when we give too much of ourselves, there's a certain level of self-forgetfulness there, and like lack of self-awareness. Like you don't really even know what you need because you're not tuned into it, because you're so focused on what you think you're supposed to be doing, or what you need to do, should do, whatever the case is, what other people want you to do, whatever the case is. So not only are like we not as close as we could be, and haven't like had a happy life ourselves, or like as happy as it could have been, and haven't done as good a job in parenting because we're burnt out because we weren't taking care of ourselves. But also now they're perpetuating this notion that this is how people function in relationships, parenting relationships, or whatever the situation is. We're perpetuating this idea to others, and that's not very good parenting, to lead with that example. And this applies in other areas of life as well. With our friends, for example, like if you've got a friend that leans on you for emotional support, and they're calling you to talk about a problem that they're having, and it really just is not a good time for you. And I don't care how enlightened you are, or how like healthy you are, or whatever. I don't care who you are, or like what your deal is. There is nobody in the world who can hold space anytime. Like we all have our moments where we are just not there. We can't do that right now. So if, instead of letting them know that now is not a good time, I care about the situation, will it hold till tomorrow, or can we talk about this on the weekend, or whatever the case is. If we're not doing that, then we start to get kind of resentful, or tired of the relationship, or maybe we're not giving them the best listening ear that we could, because we're like loading the dishwasher while they're talking to us, or thinking about something else, or just feeling bad. And that's going to create distance in the friendship, right? And this can happen, like if you have a business or at work. Like they say, one of the best things for productivity is to schedule blocks of time. Like I've read, what's the name of that book? You know what? I think I remember, but I don't want to say the wrong book. So anyways, I read in a book once that one of the best things for productivity is to actually schedule blocks of time that are respected the way you would respect like a doctor's appointment, or an important meeting at work, or like a court hearing, or something that, unless there's an emergency, you're going to do it. Schedule blocks of time for yourself that are dedicated work-free time, and like don't use that time to like clean your house or something like that. Although, I mean, if that's what you need to do, then obviously having balance in life means also doing that. But I'm talking about like rest and recreation, just like taking care of yourself, whatever that happens to mean, whether you're you know going for a swim, or going on a vacation, or just like sitting at home and like watching TV, like whatever it is that you need. in order to be rejuvenated and, be your best self, then then that's what you need to do. And like what they have found is that like people who do this are actually a lot more effective in their business than the people who do not do this. And I could keep talking for a while, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap this up so the video isn't too long, because I have a tendency to make very long videos. But the main thing that I want to get across in this video is that my perspective is that the very best thing that any of us can do is to be our best self, to offer our best to the world. Um, that's what the world needs from each of us, for us to just like be ourselves and take care of ourselves, and um, for us to have our needs met, whatever those needs are, and to like have a healthy um, relationship with ourselves and these sorts of things. If we're doing that, then what we have to offer is going to be a much higher quality offering than what we can offer when we're trying to pour from an empty cup. So the idea with this analogy is that if you're always giving of yourself, your time, your energy, whatever it is, your attention, whatever it is, if you're always giving, 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 you're going to end up empty and trying to pour from an empty cup. And better way to do it, there's part of me that wants to like tangent about what better even means, but I'm going to hold off on that. The better way to do it is to make sure that you fill yourself up fully first, and then overflow onto other people around you. And like everything and everyone in your life benefit from this, because you're offering the best that you have to offer the world. And that's what the world really needs from each of us. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, I don't know. That's about it, I guess. Thanks. I will see you in the next video.